Jennifer Davis with Planar Systems, and we're here at InfoComm 2013. I'm standing with Mark Brady from Scala. Thank you for joining me today.
Of course, thank you, Jennifer.
So tell us a little bit about Scala, about some of your solutions and what you bring to the digital signage marketplace.
Sure. So Scala was started in 1987. The reason I bring that up is because even though we've been around for over 25 years, we're still innovating all the time. As a matter of fact, on June 18th, we have a brand new platform launching, which is going to be called Scala Enterprise. Some of the highlights of that package are going to be helping bring the standards of content all together. The ability to play HTML5 content, which can be played on any type of device, versus having a proprietary type content like Flash or other types of content. We'll be able to tie more into the buzzwords like mobile and other types of devices that will allow us to play the same content and even control that content through your phone, through your tablet, through a laptop somewhere, or right there from the screen. Some of the other things that Scala is going to be able to do is, we've always been known as a pioneer in the industry, but also not very easy to work with. You know, you have to really go through training and understand the platform. Well, our new platform, Scala Enterprise, is going to address the ease of use. The new platform has a whole new layout. We expect 35 to 40% efficiency increase from our users that are using our current system with the new system. So just because of that, I can't wait to see what the new Scala is going to be bringing.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that development. That's great. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in the industry? Clearly, as a pioneer and widely used platform, you have an opportunity to be on the front seat of a lot of the trends that that are playing out in the marketplace. Maybe you can speak to some of those trends.
Sure. So I'll address this from a vertical standpoint. On the retail side, we see trends such as companies wanting to create an entire omni-channel. They want the same brand feeling when you go to their website as when you're in their corporate office, as whenever you're in one of their retail stores. Another thing is the customer experience is so important, especially for the brick and mortar retailers. So how can you enhance the customer experience? How do you get people to want to come into your store and enjoy their time while they were there? On the corporate side, we're looking at how do we really engage the employees? How do we get them more involved? And then how do we brand the corporate culture around the offices?
Absolutely. It's interesting. There's some parallels between what you described for retail and corporate, because in a retail environment, I think retailers have long known that those locations are a spokesperson of their brand, and now as they want to build those omni-channel relationships, and not only in the store but out the door too, with mobile and social campaigns, I think that same thing is applying in the corporate environment too, where people are realizing that their buildings are spokespeople for their brand, and not only to employees but to visitors as well. It's great to see that mindset hitting all of those verticals. One of the things that is a trend that we've spent some time talking about is the growth of interactivity in all its various forms. So maybe you could speak a little bit about what you're seeing for interactive trends in the marketplace.
Sure. So interactivity can mean a lot of different things. I mean, how do you interact with the screen? From something as basic as a QR code that you can scan with your phone, to walking up, touching the screen, gesture control like you see with the Microsoft Xbox and other types of devices, and then even, being able to just control things from your phone or your tablet and be able to have something happen on the screen, or vice versa. Walk away with the message that you saw on that screen. This is definitely a very trendy topic, and not even trendy. I think it's just something that's going to be the way of the future. Since before 2007, we didn't even touch our phones. Thanks to Apple, now everybody thinks that a screen is what you should be doing. You should be walking up and touching it. Therefore, we've got to figure out a way to keep up with the way people think, whether it be having them control here and something happens somewhere else, or in another fashion. We've got to keep up with that.
Absolutely. The way people want to engage with the material, whether that be information or like wayfinding, or whether that be advertising messages and the like, responding to how modern consumers want to consume that information. That's great. So Digital signage is being deployed everywhere. We're seeing it showing up in places where traditional static signage has long held a foothold, as well as places where advertising never existed before. So what are some of the benefits to digital signage deployments that you're working with customers day in, day out to achieve? What are some of the benefits?
Yeah, I would say some of the benefits are being able to use one solution for so much more. You have the ability to tie into metrics, live data, be able to see a lot of things in one place without having to go manually dig things up. Think about dashboards that might show information from a newsletter that you don't have time to read, or metrics from a report that you don't really have you don't give the time that it deserves to go dig into, but you can look up at a screen and see, oh, there's something red, I better go dig into that deeper. Also, the ability to have more than one thing on a screen versus having just, in the old days we printed out a piece of paper, had it stuck on the wall, and that was how old, right? It's all about the content with regard to that.
Absolutely, and I think people's demand for information just continues to grow, so having that layers of content accessible in these public venues is just a natural extension.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, the goal is to engage our audience. So how do we better engage our audience, whether the customer is walking into a retail store or the employee at a corporation? Like you mentioned earlier, it sounds very similar because it's just different words, but in the end, no matter who your viewer, your audience is, that's who your customer is. How do you engage that audience?
Absolutely. So finally, what advice would you have for clients that may be considering digital signage deployments for the very first time, or maybe a larger scale deployment than they've ever considered before? What advice do you have for them as they approach decision makings about display technology, audio technology, digital signage software, and the like?
Sure. My advice would be, instead of looking at the solution as the one thing that you're going to be initially thinking about, try and see all the different possibilities you can utilize that same solution for. A lot of customers will come into a project thinking, oh, I need menu boards in the cafeteria, but not think that same solution can be used in the call centers or around the office, or for dashboards, or for outdoor, or for any of these other things that they can be used for. So try and think outside the box, and even include people from different departments and people from different areas of your organization to see how you can utilize that exact same system and get a better ROI on your investment.
Oh, that's great advice. Thank you so much, Mark, for spending time with us today here at InfoComm 2013. For more information about Painéis, visit Painéis.com.